Hello, this is all Abrial. I'm going to be teaching you about astrology. Today we're talking about why Libras are seen as fake. I know you've heard it. A lot of people talk about Libras being fake. They talk about them being two-faced. I feel like there's just so much slander on the air signs. Geminis are two-faced. Aquarius, if you don't like an Aquarius, you're the problem. Sorry. But Libras are just seen as social fakers. Like, they will gossip about other people, they will talk about this person and do these things, and I just feel like we need to give them more credit, because Libra is the only zodiacal sign that has an inanimate object as its symbol. All of the zodiacal family members have little animals, or humans actually, but Libra is the only one that's an inanimate object. And also, if you think about the placement in consecutive order of Libra, they're right in between the two zodiacal signs that have very similar sigils, right? So Virgo, it has the M that goes inward, and then it's Libra, the scales, the inanimate object, and then next you have Scorpio. Scorpio is the tail that goes outwards, a little stinger. And to talk it back to Libra, I really want to discuss how they are just so significant to the entire balancing of social situations. So if you have anyone who has a Libra placement in your life, it's very important that you keep them close. You understand what exactly they need to be this social balance to everyone, and you act accordingly with that, because really Libras are such a potent symbol for the entirety of the zodiacal family, because they're the 7th placed house. Libras have a very keen way of being right in the middle of everything. And if you think about being right in the middle of everything, it means that you're not necessarily left and you're not necessarily right. You're center. And that is another reason why we could tie back in Libras are fake. They're not fake. You're just not seeing them for who they are and who they're showing up as. No, I'm not a Libra sun, but I do have a Libra placement, and I've been around a lot of Libra placements to know and understand what it means to have a social order. Libras really deeply care about social order and social harmony. Why? They're ruled by a Venus sign. Venus is harmony. Venus is beauty. Venus is a benefic planet. Venus wants to give love, and it wants to receive love, and it wants to see love with its senses. It wants to hear love. It wants to smell love. It wants to touch love. It wants to taste love. Venus is all of the senses. Venus is harmony. Venus is admiration and joy and flow and goodness and all that stuff. So of course, a Libra placement ruled by that kind of cosmic energy is going to do everything that they can, everything that they need to, in order for things to remain balanced. Things should just really remain balanced. And that's what Libra is here to do. We have notes here, not like we need them, but they're good guidance, because why are Libras seen as fake? They value social, which is their air sign, right? So Libra is a cardinal air sign. Cardinal is the behaviorism that the zodiacal sign will act in, the behavior. And then the element is air. There's 4 elements, if you want to leave out the 5th element of spirit, because we're talking about just the zodiacal chart's elemental composition. Libras are of the air element. My throat's a little dry. Cheers. Ooh. My throat's still dry. I don't think it's a water issue. Libras are a social sign because they value socialness, because they're air. Air is freely moving. You cannot capture air. You can't take a bottle of air. You can take a bottle of water. You can put water in a bottle. You can put dirt, earth in a bottle. You can put fire in a bottle, but it's gonna fizzle out. You know what you can't put in a bottle? You can't put air. They value harmony because Venus is what we just talked about. and they will alter their personality presentation. Please listen to the words I'm saying very carefully, very slowly, so you can deeply understand the archetype of Libra. Okay? Will alter their personality presentation because they're cardinal. Cardinal, it moves. Cardinal is an initiative energy, but it does not mean that it's always staying in the moment of starting. It doesn't mean that they're stopped like a fixed sign before or after the movement of starting is going. Do you follow? Personality presentation gets altered because they're a cardinal sign, right? In order to achieve it at all costs, which is the Aries counterpart. So I'll read that in one swift sentence. Why are Libras seen as fake? They value social harmony and will alter their personality presentation in order to achieve it at all costs. They value the social aspects of life because they're an air sign, okay? Got it? They value harmony because they're ruled by Venus. Following? They will alter their personality presentation because they're a cardinal sign. Understood? And they will do it at all costs to achieve this. Aries counterpart. All zodiacal signs have a counterpart, meaning that there is a sign that is exactly opposite from them. That is Aries. That is why the Libra is just so devilishly misunderstood. Like, it is literally this same kind of poisonous archetype that is associated with the Diablo. Araso. Quintana. The dragonflies are bugging out. They're like, hey, Quintana. They will do anything. They will do anything to achieve social harmony. Their shadow side is what everyone thinks is fake. Absolutely. I agree. I mean, I wrote this, but I agree. Yes. So, it just boils down to the fact that Libras are misunderstood because they are doing things in a way that can seem like they're constantly changing who they are in order to please a crowd. And I genuinely don't even think that's a bad thing. I think some people just only value being a version of yourself when it's only serving a certain presentation of where that self can be perceived. Because if you think about it, say you're an actress and you are embodying a different version of self for a paycheck, for a project, for an artistic creation, that's something that can be valued as, wow, this person is changing who they are for something else. That's pretty cool. But when it's in the aspect of just normal human being life and interacting with other social beings, because we are social beings innately, then there is a little bit more of a discrepancy with how you're perceived, because people are like, no, they're fake, like they're just being fake, when really they just care about the balance of the harmony because they can feel energy. They can feel the air energy. Do you get it? They can feel the energy. They can feel the energy going throughout the air. And the air is connected to the lungs and how they speak. And because they value harmony, because they're ruled by an air sign, they want to express that Venusian harmony out to other people, even if they necessarily don't like them, or even if necessarily they feel a discrepancy with how these energies are interacting, or even if they have a differing value system. Say if this person really values being a lazy slob and this person really values being a considerate prim, right? These two things, but the Libra is the scales. The Libra puts this balancing scientific tool, right? Because they are very calculated. And they say, okay, I understand that this is something that is a little more dense. This has density too, but it's a little lighter, so the scales are tipped. I'm going to be the standing vessel in the middle to bring harmony in between these two things, because I feel that as my cosmic order. I feel that as my energetic presence within this being and within this moment. So I'm going to step out and I'm going to do this one thing that can create the most amount of harmony in this situation. And that's why people think that they're fake, because their shadow side is the version of themselves that absolutely needs to be doing this 24/7. Yellow vehicle, let's go. There is only a certain with threshold. That's the word I wanted to say. There is only a certain threshold of where you can give yourself in these essences of being needed for social harmony as a Libra placement. You have to be very balanced within yourself before you can go out and balance the societal standard of whatever environment / atmosphere that you are existing in. And it's really important that you understand that, because I just feel like people don't understand that with Libra placements. And even myself, I feel like I have had a process of not being able to understand when is the time for me to do one thing and when is the time for me to not do one thing. The thing being balance those social order within the atmosphere, and then the thing can be making a joke or speaking in a softer tone, things of that nature. There's so many things that can go into being a Libra placement, but people just look over it and they say, oh my god, this person's fake as fuck, because they're talking to someone who they were just talking shit about 2 seconds ago. Which, listen, there are certain scenarios. We are social beings. You cannot always be a bitch. Sometimes you have to interact with people, and sometimes you have to go with the flow of your atmosphere. You can't always be a bitch, even though maybe your ego, even though maybe the Aries opposition, if you have Libra placements, is going to want to do that. They're going to just want to trailblaze through and be brash and all initiator fire sign. Sure, you can do that, but you really shouldn't always do that. The difference with Aries and Libra is Libra knows when to pick their battles, because Libra is the air sign. Libra has the ability to think things through before they act. That's where they come in to balance out their Aries counterpart. Something I wrote down that I really want to share, because it's kind of funny, is the essence of an immature Libra placement. So think about it like this. The immature Libra, in a sick and twisted way, Libras will stay in contact with those they don't enjoy to subconsciously belittle them with sass in their own mind, because it satisfies their need for social order, avoids confrontation, and gives a battleground in their brain. Isn't that beautiful? Didn't I write that so freaking well? I'm literally the #1 best intuitive astrologer ever, and I've been saying this forever. Thank you, dragonflies, I understand. But basically, an immature Libra will keep somebody around if they don't like them, and they don't have to. That's another key point. Just because they have strength in belittling them within their mind. Think of just like a high school clique, because that's what I'm seeing, because I have been in that situation with a Libra sun in a high school clique. They will keep people around just to belittle them in their mind, because it takes away the need to confront people on their bullshit or confront them on the fact that they don't like them, right? That's the opposing Aries also. It's like Aries can give you the fire that you need to build some war, but then Libra will kind of just like sit back and process everything. So both masculine energies, by the way, not necessarily like masculine, feminine, but these are both masculine energies in terms of their element, because air and fire are masculine, water and earth are feminine. So even though Libra is ruled by a Venus placement, even though Libra is ruled by Venusian energy, they are masculine. Also, difference between Libra and Aries is Libra battles in the mind, Aries battles with the body. Excuse me. Libra as an archetype has major focuses on beauty in language, which can be gossip or deciding decisions, because you have to think through decisions, and that's form of language, to think the processes in your brain, to hear yourself in your brain make these decisions or talk them out loud. That's decision. and that's something that they find beauty on. They value beauty in language, physical presentation. So Libra also deeply cares and values things that have beauty. If you are not beautiful in one way or another, the Libra will instantly dislike you. Instant dislike. And it's the same thing on the other side too. If you are beautiful, if you withhold beauty in the way that you speak, in your presentation, the Libra is going to be all over you without even knowing what you are about as a person. And that can be something that can make Libras seem fake as well, because they see beauty in something, they're automatically linked to it. They see beauty in something and they automatically want to give their social energy. They want to put their air, they want to breathe life into this thing that they find beauty in. And I just think that's really beautiful, and it just makes them so misunderstood, because a lot of things in life, actually, a lot of the misunderstandings that we have as a society, just in general as humans, even taking it away from astrology for a moment, is just that we all individually have our own intrinsic set of values that we came onto this earth with, but other people will see these values and they will say, oh my god, like, I can't believe this person has different values from me. But it's like, that's the human experience, baby. That's literally what we're here for. So naturally, they represent a higher range of information on a social scale because they are an air sign, because they are just Libras. And that's all I have to say about Libras. I'm going to give you this flip through of the Libra book as one of my resources, but just remember, it does not even scratch the surface, because I am the #1 intuitive astrologer. If you want to connect with me on different platforms, you can look in the description of this video, because I put it all in there. And these are all my stuffs on Libra, yeah. At least a little bit. This is just what I get from this book from the 90s. Shout out to... oh my gosh, this one's kind of lengthy. I feel like when I did Leo before, it wasn't that lengthy. Alright, we're done. Thank you for watching. I actually don't have anything else to say. Bye!